Now, as we welcome back Zach and Perk. Zach, we went through your top NBA tiers yesterday. You have a great article on ESPN Plus right now. But now it's time to look at the teams that may think they are contenders, but could actually be at risk for the play-in, starting in the East. Zach, the 4 teams you picked at risk of worrying about a play-in are the Hawks, Celtics, 76ers, and the Heat. Now, which team do you feel is most in danger, Zach?
So those 4 with Brooklyn and Milwaukee enter as the top 6 in the East, but most in danger. This might be a controversial decision. This might surprise you. I'm going to go with the team whose second best player hasn't shown up to training camp and wants to get traded, and that's the Philadelphia 76ers. Until we see how the Ben Simmons situation resolves itself, yeah, they've still got Danny Green and Seth Curry, and Tyrese Maxey was ready for the moment against the Hawks in the playoffs and all that. But if you go from Ben Simmons to a 0 on a roster spot like that, that's a big, big drop-off. So I think the Sixers of those 4 are at most risk right now until we see how that Simmons situation is resolved.
No, I agree with you, Zach, and it's just that type of Thursday. It ain't Holy Thursday, but it's something similar to it. And I'm agreeing with you. Like, you can't lose Ben Simmons in the way that the Miami Heat has got better right in this offseason on paper. You look at the Atlanta Hawks, they're going to continue to get better. And even the Boston Celtics got better. I think they flying under the radar. So the team that's in danger for the play-in, I'm actually going with you, and that's the 76ers. Now, look, I will say this. I went out on a limb, and I still have them as my MVP of the saying that they are not going to be in the playoff hunt. But if I had to pick out of those 4, I got to go with the 76ers because of the Ben Simmons situation.
All right, I don't know why I have a feeling you guys are going to disagree on the West, so let's look out there and focus on the Nuggets and reigning MVP Nikola Jokic, the Clippers without Kawhi for the foreseeable future, and the Warriors waiting on Klay to return. Perk, we'll start with you. Which of those 3 teams are most at risk for the play-in?
You know what? I would go with the Clippers. Look, the Warriors and Nuggets are making the playoffs, and the Clippers are making the playoffs. One thing I will not do is doubt Ty Lue. I just want to know, why is the Dallas Mavericks not up there? This is a team that was straddling the fence last year, the Dallas Mavericks, and they brought back the same team. We have yet to really see if Porzingis and Luka could fit when it matters the most. So when I'm looking at those teams, the Clippers, the Warriors, and the Nuggets, they're going to make the playoffs. The Mavericks are who I'm concerned about.
Zach?
I'm gonna have to have a drink after the show because I keep agreeing with Perk and it's starting to worry me a little bit. Of those three teams, it's easily the Clippers. I think the Nuggets, as long as they have the MVP healthy, Michael Porter Jr. is ready to be a number 2 scorer. They've got good depth. I think they'll be fine. The Warriors, if they can just hold the fort, and they rediscovered their identity in the last 20 or 30 games of last season, if they can just hold the fort playing that way until Klay comes back, I think they're okay. The Clippers, without Kawhi, their offense was just average when he was on the bench, even when Paul George played. Ibaka hasn't come back yet from injury. They've got a lot of interesting pieces. They got new pieces in Eric Bledsoe. I just feel like they're a little uncertain. They have more to figure out about themselves than those other 2 teams. So I guess I got to agree with Perk. I don't know what's going on.
I mean,
No, Zach. You didn't agree with me because I didn't pick either one of them. I picked the Dallas Mavericks. Look, we're underestimating the Clippers, right? What we saw out of Paul George last year, he thrives at his best when he's the number 1 option. And then we saw Reggie Jackson, right, started to look like the Reggie Jackson that we thought he was going to look like in Detroit. And we heard what he said, the Clippers, they saved my career, right? We know that Marcus Morris is a guy that is capable of averaging 18 to 20 points on high percentage. And Nicholas Batum has found his niche as well. And we already know what Tyronn Lue is. He's going to show out. He thrives best when there's adversity hit. He showed us that last year.
Just embrace the friendship. Because, you know, the Mavericks weren't even an option, but we're going to go with it. Just embrace the friendship. This is how today is going. And as I'm looking at this segment and all these teams, all I want to say is the league is alive and well. A lot of young talent.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.